My name is Joe Diaz, and I'm here at the March Field Air Museum in Riverside, California. And today, we honor Wilder E. Guerra, a man who has served his nation in both the United States Navy and Air Force. A dual-branch journey few can claim, and even fewer can compete with his level of dedication, grit, and heart. Today, we sit with Wilder to look back at the sacrifices, victories, and moments that shaped over 2 decades of service. This is his story.
So yeah, go ahead and tell me who you are, where you're from, and tell me about your career.
So I'm Wilder Guerra. I am currently in the California Air National Guard, just for a little bit left. Reached 20 years, a couple years back, and I'm gonna be at 22 and a half this Saturday. I basically came over from Guatemala back in 1985. My family and I were in Los Angeles for the majority of my childhood, and I served with the Navy for 10 years, active duty. Not right after high school, had a little bit of trial and tribulation beforehand, but joined back in 2000 was when I joined through the DEP program, and I shipped out in January of 2001. So here it is, August 2025. I did have a slight break in between, but I was able to accumulate the 20 to be able to get to the retirement time and finishing off my contract. And it's been an incredible experience. And the squadron's been great. That's another thing that helped me stay, because once I hit the 20, everybody was asking me, when are you going to be done? When are you going to retire? And if the squadron was trash, I'd be like, that's it, I'm using the ticket right now. But it's a good squadron, and thankfully I was able to finish out my contract.
Cool. Mm-hmm. You said you used to be prior service Navy, and now Air National Guard, 10 years Navy. Mm-hmm. What were you doing in the Navy?
So in the Navy, I started off as an electronics tech, an ET. When I signed up in 2001, I was having a little bit of difficulty in the real world. I had a year of college, didn't do all that well. Was doing a lot of dead-end jobs. I was a security guard for a moment, and was trying to pursue like armed guard and all that, but I have to give credit to 2 of my friends from high school, from Belmont. Belmont High School is where I went to. The Calderon brothers. So one of them, the older one, was my recruiter, and I appreciate that. You know, he went over and he wasn't trying to sell me the Navy, or he wasn't like, hey, you need to get in or anything like that. Yeah. He showed up in his white government car, like, hey man, I'm stationed over here now. You want to go to lunch? So, yeah, I want to go to lunch. Dead end job, you get a free lunch.
Yeah. That's how they get you.
Exactly.
They get you lunch.
And you know, he was great. Like, he was a great friend, and he definitely helped out as far as recruiting. You know, not selling me what he needed to get sent out immediately. Like, he's all like, you should try this, and that's how I ended up being an electronics tech at first. And I did that for 6 years. All of it mainly on the USS Decatur out of San Diego, and did 3 deployments with the Decatur out to the Arabian Gulf. And afterwards, I had basically crossed specialties to, they call it the dark side, on the ops side, information systems tech. So instead of being the maintainer, I was the operator. Yeah. Similar to how I did with the Guard, with the Air Force. I was maintainer and then became an operator. Yeah. But I transitioned over to IT, went back to Great Lakes. So cumulatively, I did about a year in Great Lakes. And then went overseas to Italy. Spent a couple years in Italy at Navsat Confac Lago Patria. Yeah. And after that, I found a pre-commissioned unit out of San Diego that was the same. It was a similar platform as the Decatur. Oh. So that was my last ship, the USS Wayne E. Meyer.
All right, so you said it was 10 years Navy and that you were doing ET work, electronic technician.
Yeah.
Then you transitioned Air National Guard. What were you doing in Air National Guard?
So when I first started with the Air Force Reserve. I had a break in service and I was trying to get back into the Navy, and they were being a little bit stringent with their requirements, and I'm like, what? Okay, well, let me see what's up with the Air Force. And I was doing some private pilot training at the time, so the Air Force kind of felt like it was calling me. I had that opportunity, and the Air Force Reserve took me in. I went in as a electrical environmental technician, ELIN. Well, working on the KC-135s at a march over here.
Yeah.
For 3 years I was there. Yeah, so with the 752nd, I was with them for 3 years. And when I got wind that the Air National Guard in San Diego, had no idea there was a squadron in San Diego.
Nobody does.
It was definitely hidden. But yeah, it was Spencer, Staff Sergeant Spencer. He was also stationed with me over at the 752nd. And yeah, he got wind of it, I guess, if I remember correctly, at one of the job fairs. So he secured his spot, and then the recruiter at the time, he and I were working. I was able to get affiliated over to the Guard at like about my 3-year mark, a little over the 3-year mark once I was with the Air Force.
Yeah.
And as it turns out, that was my sunset tour, my sunset enlistment. That was back in 2019.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it was a 6-year enlistment, no bonus. It's all good. It's at the end, so.
So when you first joined the military, what motivated you to serve? And how has that motivation evolved over the years?
So, transparency, it was necessity. I was struggling when I went to college right out of high school, and just having difficulty with the jobs I was getting without education. And yeah, once I saw the opportunity, thanks to my recruiter, figured I wasn't really that militant minded at all. I just figured I'd go in, get the education they were offering and the training, and then come back to the civilian side and utilize the education and the work experience to see, get a better job.
Yeah.
But once you're part of it, at least for me, it made a big difference. Not only getting to boot camp and having that change in lifestyle, but truth be told, while I was at my household goods move, because before there wasn't no computer program to log into, and you had to go to a symposium kind of.
Yeah.
And that's when the attack happened on the towers. So that was at the very first year of my enlistment. So I really wasn't even thinking about civilian life afterwards. It just got into, the shit that I'm going to is getting sent early.
Yeah.
That was the focus at that moment. But over the years, the motivation has definitely changed at each stage. When I left my first duty station to transition to IT, I mainly did that because I knew the specialty or the job itself was translated better to the civilian side.
Yeah.
And I was still prepping for in case I wasn't gonna be able to continue. So that was still in there to make sure I had a safety net. But with every location or every station that I was at, even at the schools, I met quality people, people that I normally wouldn't have ever met in my life. So it was nice to have that camaraderie with people all over the country. And yeah, even when I left active duty, I left active duty because that desire to do it on a day-to-day wasn't there anymore, and I didn't want to clog up a spot and be, all disgruntled, like just trying to serve the time and get it out of the way. It would have been a disservice to myself and to my units and to my shipmates if I would have stayed in.
Yeah.
So I figured, okay, it's time for me to finish out my contract You know, that I just saw it as stages where, okay, my contract's done. This is where I have an opportunity to do something else. But even with switching over to the civilian side, I immediately went into the reserves because I did it for over a decade. I was a first class petty officer, so I felt that I still had something to give, just not on a day to day, basically. And yeah, even now, like with the break-in service that brought me over to the Air Force, there's a lot of similarities between the Air Force and the Navy. Some programs are called by different names, but they're essentially the same thing. So the transition wasn't that difficult. And at the time that I joined the Air Force Reserves, I knew that I was close to reaching the 20s. So at that point, it was definitely, I need to get to 20 because there's no pensions anywhere. Like they got rid of pensions, what, in the 70s, 80s? So being that close to a pension, I said, I need to, I'm close to the finish line, I might as well. And going back to the units that I went to, meeting people that I otherwise never would have, I met a lot of quality people, and that also helped in maintaining that drive to not just reach the 20, but to experience, have a good experience and contribute in each of the units that I was associated with.
So looking back, what were the biggest challenges you faced early in your career, and how did you overcome them?
The biggest challenges were definitely the order taking, having that transition from being told what to do. It was difficult at first, but realizing that everything has a purpose. How you folded your underwear and your shirts, was not to have your stuff folded like that all the time. It was a matter of order, synchronicity, uniformity, and even still, like I still fold my stuff like that. Just the shirts, not the, but it started to click like after the first month, and even at every station that I went to, there was still something new that I either didn't completely pick up at basic, or they didn't cover it while I was there, because I was only there for 8 weeks, thankfully. But once I got into the groove of, okay, this is how it is, I understand the rates and ranks, need to know your role. I felt the need to be a positive attribute rather than a nuisance. I figured that, well, you can't talk to me like this, or was not going to make anything any easier. And I did come across a few people that I definitely did not appreciate how they handled themselves towards me, but at the end of the day, had to work with them and live with them in a sense, being on the ship. So it definitely helped me mature in patience to an extent, and I'm still working on it. So just being in the military in itself does mature you, whether you want to or not.
Yeah, I could totally understand that perspective, because I don't think there's any other place. There's very few jobs where you're going to get yourself be put in a situation where someone's going to tell you to do something, and you're like, that doesn't make any sense. Why would we do it like that? That sounds like a terrible idea. There are much better ways to do it. Mm-hmm. Why? Like, just why? Why are we doing it like that? And they're like, that's the way it is, man. You just got to go do it that way.
Right.
Fine. And then later on, maybe you might get to a point where you're like, oh, I get it. I see why they were telling us, because all this stuff in the background that I don't normally see is kind of hanging in balance of whether or not we do it this way.
Yeah.
I don't like it. Some of it still don't make no sense, but I can see the reason.
Yeah, and the more you get qualified, also I've noticed that the picture starts coming together as far as your individual contribution, and why it needs to be a certain way, and how there's, just the methods, especially in maintenance. Like
Yeah.
if you gaff off on maintenance, not only could it affect equipment, it could affect personnel, and when you think about it, just because you wanted to slack off and write something off that you did.
Right.
That you actually didn't, and somebody gets zapped or killed.
Right.
It's a reality, and you can't take that lightly, because your laziness could lead to someone's death.
Yeah.
That just doesn't sound good any way you put it.
Yeah. So what moments stand out as the most meaningful or memorable in your career?
So most memorable for sure, I can't get past our opportunity to be able to be involved in a drug bust in the Strait of Hormuz. This was back in December 15th, 2003. I remember it because it was payday. First and the 15th, you get your check.
Yeah.
But yeah, we ended up with the boarding team, intercepted a dhow, 40-foot dhow that, sure enough, was smuggling approximately $13 million of hash. And that's definitely meaningful, because it felt, after so much of going out and doing your drills and doing everything the day to day, it feels mundane.
Yeah.
But when something like that, you're involved in something like that, your entire unit, like everybody was on P's and Q's. We had to detain the personnel from the Dow into our forward decon station. This is the guided missile destroyers don't have brigs, so we had to makeshift one. So that was a forward decon station, and it turns out that a few of those fishermen had direct links to Al Qaeda. So we had to tow the Dow and take them over to Dubai, and it was interesting just having them on the ship and their fate, because Dubai doesn't play about drugs, so they were aware of that. And from my recollection, one of them was their first time being on that boat, so they got caught up in the mix. And
Oh, you mean like they weren't even?
they had no idea, like they just went on as, oh, okay, this is my first boat fishing job, and they got caught in it. So we detained them and turned them over, and not sure what happened afterwards, but we just know that their laws are very stringent on drugs. But it was interesting to have that involvement over there with what was going on over there at that time, as boots on the ground with Iraq and Afghanistan, and us being out in the water. Like there was stuff going on there as well. It wasn't all just in the sandbox.
Yeah.
And that's memorable because it also helped to have a really dedicated and solid team, because as dangerous as it would have been on their end, we didn't have anybody that was trigger happy, that was just ready to start something or get a little bit belligerent or unnecessarily over the top to start something. So it was definitely a tense situation overall.
Yeah.
But everybody had their roles. Even on the ship, the intelligence specialists, they knew what to do. The crew itself, there had to be rotations with the detainees, and yeah, that was definitely the most memorable.
That's pretty big one. So what advice would you give to the next generation of airmen who are just beginning their journey?
Next generation, lock in, because it's a commitment. A lot of times they say you sign on the dotted line. That is true. Lock in, understand what you need to do to not only enhance your understanding of your role, but also embrace the fact that you have an opportunity that a lot of people don't. I would have never thought I would have been able to have traveled as much as I did, have learned as much as I have, and there's still more to learn. Like, I can never say I got everything down, and yeah, take advantage of the perks, the benefits, the school, the travel that's either within the confines of your orders or just wherever you're stationed at. As I mentioned, Italy, I was stationed there for 2 years, and it's basically a hub of all of Europe. So you could take a train for a couple hours and you're in a totally different country. And even here, like if you're in the desert, the boonies somewhere, go on leave, see what's in the nearest city, the nearest town. Those are experiences that even if you only have them once, it's an experience that you'll appreciate because it's important to get out and experience the world. The military gives you that opportunity, and I'll always be thankful for that because just having the chance to experience the world, it's expensive. It's expensive, so do it on the government dime. Like you're doing your part. Do the opposite, balance it out. Like better yourself, experience other cultures. Especially now with technology just being in your face with so much information, learn a new language, practice that language, get out and make the most of the opportunity you have. There's always going to be some sort of instance where you're not feeling it. Process that as best as you can to go beyond that.
This is what it's all about.
Okay, so that's all the time that we have for this retirement interview right here. On behalf of the 147th, I want to thank you for your time and congratulate you on your 20-year retirement. From all of us at the 147th, we wish you nothing but the best in your new retired career, or in your new retired life. And we hope that you keep in touch with the rest of us here. Any parting words that you may have for the rest of us who are still down in San Diego?
So as far as the 147th go, as I mentioned earlier, is that the unit is great. You guys, everyone that I've come across, even if it was just for a couple minutes or for an entire day, there's just a sense, and especially because it's in San Diego, a sense of inclusion. You feel welcome there, and yeah, definitely take care of one another, back each other up. You guys, prime real estate. You got a great location. Like I said, I didn't know about it until there was that opening, and I'm glad I chose it. I would have pulled chocks years ago if the unit was questionable, but no, thankfully everyone's been top tier, been great, and just keep it up, keep it going. The struggles are there, and just help each other out. Help each other out, and you'll succeed.
So I noticed you got a tackle box with you. I wasn't expecting to go fishing at all this time, but curious to know what you have in there and if you're willing to share it with us right now.
Absolutely. So this tackle box has been following me practically my entire military career. I learned this trick from one of my shipmates, my first duty station, Fred Lewis. He was stationed with the Marines early on in his career, and he learned this. We're basically, as you're earning awards, to collect them, because when you slide them onto the holders, the fabric may tend to get cut by the edges. And yeah, every time there's been a new award, I've ended up going to the BX or whatever exchange, Navy or Air Force, and purchase the ribbons individually or purchase the medals. So in here I have what I used to wear on watch when I was with the Navy. Not on watch, I'm sorry. This is for the full dress blues. So in the Navy, when you have your full dress blues, you wear your medals and your ribbons. The Air Force doesn't do that unless you're in the honor guard where you can wear your medals. But this tackle box definitely helped me out with putting together my shadow box, and saving money over the years, because the shadow box people, or whatever awards you're wanting to put into your box, you're gonna have to pay for them. So I had already done that. In a way, this was 20 years in the making. And at the bottom, I have patches. I even have, oh yeah, that's the cummerbund from my dinner dress uniform in the Navy. A couple extra badges. So this is like the spare box for all the accoutrements.
It's your receipts. You showed up with your receipts.
Basically.
Yeah, that's a pretty neat way to organize stuff right there. I was telling you earlier, all my stuff is in the shoebox, just throwing it all together. I never know what I have in there. I end up buying new shit. That's pretty cool, man. Awesome. Thanks for sharing that.
Mm-hmm.
Get you back up on the chair.
Back up in the chair.